Actor Robert De Niro just will not shut up about the link between vaccines and rising autism. And you know what? That's a very good thing indeed. A lot of people were really concerned that De Niro had been silenced after he was forced to remove the documentary Vaxxed from the Tribeca Film Festival last year. Now, Vaxxed is a documentary that accuses the CDC of covering up the link between vaccines and rising autism rates. The CDC, they've declared there is no connection between vaccines and autism, but Robert De Niro, who is not anti-vaccine, asks, who settled it? How is it settled? He gave a recent interview on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson where he asked just that. Where is the science?
Who settled it? How was it settled? Where is the science, as Bobby Kennedy says? Where is the science? Here's what we have from all these studies, and here's what they have. And so it seems like something is not right.
Are you behind the idea of forming some sort of scientific commission that would independently take a look at this?
Sure, absolutely. An independent commission. It has to be.
Now, Robert De Niro said at the time that his family had never interfered with choosing a movie to be screened at the Tribeca Film Festival until Vaxxed came along. He thought this was a very important film for people to see. De Niro is a parent with an autistic child, and he said that he believes it is critical that all of the issues surrounding the causes of autism be openly discussed and examined. Of course, he was quickly silenced. The film had to be removed. Now, Vaxxed is directed and co-written by anti-vaccination activist Dr. Andrew Wakefield, and it exposes a huge scandal at the CDC where a longtime researcher, William Thompson, confessed in 2014 that he and colleagues committed gross fraud in a study of the MMR vaccine. Vaxxed accuses the CDC of covering up the link between MMR vaccines and rising autism rates, and they point out how this is particularly detrimental to the Black community. Black males, for some reason, are even more susceptible to autism from the MMR vaccine, but they covered that up and messed a little bit with the data so that they could hide the correlation between vaccines and rising autism rates, and you'll find all of that in this movie, Vaxxed. It's a great documentary. I highly recommend you see it. So now Robert De Niro has joined forces with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They're going to be questioning the safety of vaccinating children and pregnant women. They say it makes absolutely no sense that doctors are very adamant in telling pregnant women that they should avoid any seafood that could be laden with mercury. However, they highly recommend not one, but 2 flu shots for pregnant women when it says right there on the vaccine insert that it hasn't been tested on pregnant women or on children in utero. They have no idea how it's going to affect them. And indeed, as we've said, read the inserts, it contains mercury. So it makes no sense. So they're going to be looking at this with an independent panel. Now, for her part, the investigative journalist that Robert De Niro was speaking with, Cheryl Atkinson, she's never shied away from reporting on this controversial topic or any other government and corporate malfeasance. Now, in 2009, at the height of the swine flu hysteria, Atkinson discovered that the CDC had secretly stopped counting cases of the swine flu, but they continued to push this idea, warning Americans about this unchecked spread. So this is unbelievable. So in a 2014 interview with John Rappaport, Atkinson says that she found out through the FOIA efforts that before the CDC mysteriously stopped counting swine flu cases, they learned that almost none of the cases they had counted as swine flu were in fact swine flu. Indeed, they weren't even any kind of flu at all. And so that's why they stopped counting the cases. Now, one of her executives there at CBS said that this was the most original story he had seen on this whole swine flu epidemic, but the story was squelched. No broadcast ever wanted to touch it. CBS went on to air numerous stories pumping out this idea of an epidemic, but they never disclosed the fact that the CDC stopped reporting swine flu case numbers. And one can guess that it's because the overwhelming percentage of lab tests from likely swine flu patients shows that there was no sign of the swine flu or any other kind of flu. There was no epidemic, but they continued to pump out this fake news. And so this is the issue when you have people who are trying to come out and say that the science is not settled, and in fact, they have documentation of just how the cover-up happened, and that this could be harming Black males specifically, but there is a correlation between rising autism rates at the rate it's going. Vax says that 1 in 2 could have autism by 2032. That is insane. So this is very important, and this is why it is amazing that we have a president who is not afraid to open up an independent investigation into this and to say, you know what, let's find out why we do have such a high rates of autism. Now, Roger Stone was on the Alex Jones show today, and he said just that.
Trump's courage on the vaccine issue is extraordinary. I mean, the junk science industry is going crazy, calling him irresponsible and so on. The idea of getting Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to head a commission to determine exactly what the problem is here and whether there has been a cover-up at CDC regarding data involving the safety of vaccines is brilliant, because it proves this is not some partisan right-wing conspiracy. This is a legitimate health problem.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
In case you haven't heard, InfoWars has become the most influential media outlet in America. We're making freedom go viral. And now we are proud to announce a new weapon in the epic battle against the globalists. InfoWars Prime, where you can watch live high-definition feeds of The Alex Jones Show, plus exclusive insider videos from the InfoWars crew and behind-the-scenes action. Go to Infowars.com/app and download today. InfoWars Prime is available right now for your iPhone or Android. You will have access to exclusive videos that you can't see anywhere else. And that means live coverage of events and breaking news on location as it happens. You can also take advantage of amazing deals from the InfoWars store that are only available for InfoWars Prime subscribers. That's InfoWars Prime at Infowars.com/app. If you can hear my voice, you are the resistance.